So yesterday I was watching a live from one of our spiritual brothers and sisters, and I have several friends that are also in this very same mindset, and it was specifically about a particular corporate person who owns a computer company that I don't know if I get censored if I say his name here, but I mean it's Bill Gates. Okay. So, and this is not debating, I want to make it super clear. This is not debating who's right and who's wrong. This is not a video saying anything about who's right and who's wrong. This is a video about asking questions and about the broader concept of do-gooding in any form. Okay, back to it. So I was watching a spiritual person that is in our circle, our collective circle, very widely known, very well respected, and he was playing a video about Bill Gates. Now, I popped in a little bit late. I didn't hear his introduction. He was narrating it, so I kind of got his opinion, and certainly the comments were condemning and cursing and sending incredibly negative, hateful energy towards this stuff that was on the screen. Now, I didn't watch the whole setup. I saw a little bit where they were talking about Rockefeller and how Rockefeller used to hand out dimes to make people like him, even though he was super, super rich and way richer than everyone else. Then it shifted in, and that he bought things to help the public image of himself. And he bought other companies to help further his own personal interests. That's business. That's what people do in business. No matter what your business is, you are trying to further your own personal interests or the things that you are passionate about. And you will do things to make that a smoother transition. For example, if you own a clothing company, say you're passionate about fashion, and there's no fashion that lets you have one boob hang out. So you design t-shirts that has one boob hanging out. But to make that happen, now you have to, number one, find a manufacturer who does that. So for a while you use another manufacturer, but then you sell enough one boob shirts that you can now create your own factory to make one boob shirt. So now you have that. But now there's so many people ordering it that using the US mail is not necessarily the best way for you. So then you purchase a shipping company, and now you are using your own shipping company and your own company to further your own interests and your passions, right? So that's just a little bloop, a little thing. That's what we all do in business. That's what anyone does in business. That's what we do in life to further our own agendas, the things we're passionate about, the things we are do-gooders about. You know, if you want to feed people and start a food bank, you start a food bank. You started off getting farm, vegetables from other people, but eventually you might buy your own farm and then employ homeless people on your farm and then take that food to your own food bank. You create your own universe where one business feeds the next one in a way that is the most profitable for you, where you can get the most done and help the most people. Okay. This is a business model. This is something that people who are in power, people that have money, people that start businesses do. So then this video goes on to start speaking about Bill Gates. And it's talking about how he donated $575 million to start the Gates Foundation. And then another entity behind that that's a for-profit one that explores, other stuff within the foundation and vaccines. Then he started doctor programs that would bring vaccines to places in Africa. And he was able to, not he personally, but the scientists that he employed were able to come up with vaccines to lower the mortality rate in children in Africa, which is a great thing. So then he donated money after the research to delivery systems and improved hospitals in Africa and all across the world in third world countries. Then he created educational systems and started funding colleges that further looking into this and further the knowledge of the people who are receiving these things to raise all kinds of, when you know more, you can do more, right? So then he donated money to the World Health Organization because they were supporting his, his journey and his goal, his passion to help people that were. Now, this is all the stuff that the video is saying. While this is running, there's hate and this guy is the devil and this is so evil and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying that they are wrong. I'm not saying that he is right. I'm not saying he's not evil. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. But what I'm saying is that the video that I was watching, if I didn't see their comments and hear the commentary from the other person, I would think it was a video on what a philanthropic person he was and how he is doing everything he can with his billions to help the world, to help disease specifically, and to help stop the spread of disease in low income, third world, poverty stricken areas. And he has affected that. He has effectively saved millions, thousands and thousands, maybe millions of lives over the past 20 something years that he has been doing this. And yet the experience that the people watching this video were having was one of anger towards him, and we need to stop him, and we need to make him, this is control, this is this is that. So it brought to mind a very interesting question to me. And like I said, this video is about questions. This is not about saying who's right and who's wrong, but each of us has to question ourselves, right? Each of us has to ask ourselves things to learn more, to be more aware, question everything, even the things you think you found when you questioned everything, right? So all of these people are seeing all of these philanthropic acts as evil because they have found somewhere in it, whether by watching someone who says they have inside information, or whether it's by their own perception of these philanthropic acts that then create pharmaceutical companies and distribution chains and educational chains and media chains to try to shift perception. Their perception of that is that that is evil. And no matter how much good is being done, that needs to be stopped, right? That the good that is being done is actually to trick you into accepting the next step in control, or to lull you into a false sense of security. And that was what the beginning part of the video about about Rockefeller was saying, was that he used to do that to try to get people to like him, to not, rise up against him. Like the let them eat cake, kind of like the king or the earl of an area driving through and handing out silver coins to the people that are in the village of serfs that serve him. Hello, Susan. So it brought to mind an interesting question about, at what point do philanthropic acts become perceived as evil, as controlling? Is there a point where it crosses a line? And who has the right to perceive that line? Is the line perceived by each person? Is that line perceived by the person doing good?